The street was quiet. You didn't hear my reply to your sound because an ad played? Are you talking about the please God no sound? I don't remember what my reaction was. I probably said something along the lines of, no, it's okay, because it's TV-14. It's totally PG, totally for everybody. Yeah. I probably said something along those lines. So the street was quiet in comparison to the loud, hot room the loud, hot room the pair just stepped out of. The night air that cut between the buildings felt cool against Sasha's skin. Mishka looked up toward the tops of the nearby buildings as soon as they were outside. He glanced over his shoulder and peered at Sasha. Peer. You alright? Everything hurts. Did you call a taxi? Sasha's voice was just above a mumble. His ears still rang from the music, and he was feeling lightheaded. And this is why you should always stay home and never leave your house. You already asked me that, and I said yes. Oh. Sasha closed his eyes and laughed before he bundled up tighter in his jacket. Mishka smiled at his disoriented friend and wrapped an arm around him, making sure he wouldn't trip over his own feet. How do I open this? Wait, like that? No. There we go. Like this. Not that anybody cares, because I really didn't have a reason to be doing this. Just got a little distracted. Like how my yin and yang earring? No, let's not talk about that. Get it together. You'll have no trouble getting to sleep tonight. Yeah. The rideshare pulled up to the curb where a tired Sasha was propped against his friend. Here we go. Oh, luxurious. Mishka pulled the car door open and held it for Sasha, who easily slipped inside. Once Sasha was in, Mishka looked back up to the rooftops. He's worried about Ada, the guy dressed in all black. The leather upholstery of the back seat was pleasantly cool, and he immediately pressed his heated cheek against it. Mishka leaned inside the car and reached to offer his seat card to the driver. Just charge twice the normal rate and make sure he gets home safe. Sasha's brow furrowed and his head quickly swiveled towards Mishka. Me too, because didn't you say you were coming back with me? Wait, you're not coming with me? Mishka smiled at him. Nah, something came up. Sasha squinted at his friend.
Are you kidding me?
I thought y'all were gonna go home and play Dragon Lad. That's stupid. Yep, but I gotta go deal with it. The driver handed Mishka's card back to him. Mishka slipped it back into his pocket and leaned on the door for a moment. Don't give me that face. I'm gonna. The pout he wore didn't last long and slowly eased into a smile. Well, I'll text you when I'm done. Sasha felt more appeased when Mishka reiterated his plan and nodded. Fine, go do stupid stuff. No! Mishka chuckled and waved to Sasha before closing the car door. He watched the car pull away and head down the street. Well, Mishka, I'm a little worried about you, my friend, because why didn't you leave when you had the chance? I'm worried your life is going to be over. I can't wait until my package gets here. One of these days it'll arrive. Don't know what day. Don't know what day that'll be, but one of these days. Sticky notes. Yeah. Do I have a pen? I don't have a pen. I feel like I should get a pen for this room so I can write stuff. Not that I really write stuff, but I feel like it'd be entertaining. His smile slipped away as he turned to walk in the other direction. Okay. Pulled out of a deep sleep, Sasha groaned into the into consciousness. Lifting his head from the pillow, he squinted over at his phone where it sat on the TV stand. Are you serious? It's so far. He flopped his head back down onto the cool pillow and shut his eyes. Oh, well.
Seriously?
Christ. Propping himself up on one elbow, he glanced back over at the phone. Its screen shone like a beacon in the dark room. What time is it even? Let's answer it, because it could be Mishka, and he could be in trouble, and that is our husband. So we are going to answer the phone. And if it's not Mishka, and it's, what's his name? Alexis? Then we're hanging up. Not even bothering to check the caller ID. Well, I would check the caller ID because I'm not picking up for a rando and I'm not picking up for someone I don't like. So, like, if you're getting a call at, like, 4 a.m., you should check who the caller is. My personal opinion. Not even bothering to check the caller ID, Sasha begrudgingly grabbed his phone and pressed it to his ear. What? Labored breathing echoed over the line. Hello? Sasha's brows tensed, his lips pressing tight. Is this a joke? Who is this? Ooh. Oh. Gauze, thread, needle, peroxide, get on the red line, take it, 3 stops. Sasha's breath hitched in his throat. What? He felt his blood run cold at the sound of the familiar voice and his heart dropped into his stomach. His entire body froze, unable to move. I'm in an alley, 53rd and 4th intersection, behind the blue dumpster. What happened? Go get everything. Take deep breath. Sasha shook himself out of his daze and launched himself out of bed, hurrying toward the bathroom. He tucked the phone between his ear and shoulder so he could free up his hands. I'm leaving now. I'm on my way. Damn it, where's my first aid kit? The clatter of items falling over in the small bathroom made Mishka chuckle softly on the other end. Don't drop anything. Jeez. Sasha couldn't laugh. Not at a time like this. His hand shook as he assembled everything and shoved it all into a plastic bag, his heartbeat thundering in his ears. Well, I'm glad I answered the phone. Gosh. Okay, I'm coming now. Hang on, I'm coming. He raced to the door, grabbed his jacket and keys, and left as fast as he could. So I decided to read that as fast as I could. Mishka's ragged breathing was the only sound between them as Sasha bolted to the subway station. It was the longest train ride of Sasha's life. We're gonna go find our man. His body felt numb even as he jogged to where Mishka told him to go. 53rd and 4th, 53rd and 4th, 53rd. The plastic bag crinkled in his jacket as he ran, but he paid it no mind. At this point, all discretion had been tossed out of the window. The alley was dark and damp. In any other situation, he would have avoided it completely, but now he bolted right in. Hey, I'm here. Where are you? Sasha whipped his head around, searching for his friend. There was no response. Mishka? Mishka, where are you? Shh, over here. Oh. Sasha jumped before he turned toward the sour... I was doing so good. Sasha jumped before he turned toward the source of the voice. Oh.
Are you kidding me?
Well, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. He got a boo-boo. Seated beside a dumpster with one leg stretched out and the other pulled up to his chest was a hooded Mishka. I hear Mishka and all I'm thinking of is Mickey Mouse. Like, it's the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Come inside, it's fun and sad. Like, when he was, like, summoning, like, the parts, isn't Mishka, like, one of the words he said? Mishka, It's been a really long time, so I actually have no idea. Mikeymouse. He held his side tightly with both hands and could hardly lift his head to look at Sasha. Sasha rushed over and dropped down beside him, eyes wide. He started to untie the plastic bag, but shaking hands. Mishka, what the hell? Where are you injured? What happened? Mishka shook his head and feebly reached up to grab his mask. He pulled it down off his mouth with a groan. With his hands no longer covering his side, the dark red liquid seeping through his shirt became visible. Oh, he's really bloody. This is what happens when you don't get in the car and come back to my place to play Dragon Lad. How unfortunate. So Sasha's stomach totally flipped at the sight. Mishka! There's no time. Get the peroxide. Did you bring the sewing kit? Taking the edge of his shirt in his hand, Mishka peeled the wet cloth off his skin with a pained hiss. Like this. With dramatic acting, you know. A sudden stream of blood poured from the gaping wound just below his rib cage. It ran down his skin and pooled underneath him, staining the asphalt. Sasha's heartbeat began to pulse in his ears. He felt light, dizzy even. All thought left his mind. He couldn't look away from the stab wound. Sasha, do you know how to sew? No. Sasha. What? No, I... Then thread the needle at least, please. Sasha nodded, rummaging through the bag until he found the needle and thread. I don't know how to sew either. His hands wouldn't stop shaking while he tried to push the thin string through the metal loop. I can't do it. Mishka winced and balled up his shirt, pressing it firmly against the wound. His brows were tense when he glanced at Sasha. Why not call an ambulance? Keep your voice down. I don't... Sasha could feel his eyes welling up, his throat tightening painfully. Attempting to clear his vision, he wiped his eyes with his sleeve. Hey. It's all right. Just take a deep breath. Mishka's voice sounded further and further away. Sasha choked back the sob that threatened to jump from his throat. It hurt to hold in. It do hurt sometimes to, like, hold in, like, crying. Like, it hurts your throat. It really does. Water. Material girl, wash your nana boobs. Okay. I can't do it. Mishka did his best to lean away from the dumpster and lifted his hands to rest over Sasha's. Ow, I just punched myself in the freaking ribcage. Although bloody, they were surprisingly not shaking. Ow, if I do this, if I put this here, when I tighten it like this cuts off my blood flow. All of it. My whole arm. No blood flow. It's so tight. Ow. Okay, let me not do that. Before I don't have an arm. Okay. Deep breath. Just one thread. Steady your hands. With Mishka's grip stabilizing his own, Sasha was finally able to push the thread through. A small wave of relief hit him. Got it. Here. Mishka grimaced when he poured the peroxide over the wound, flashing gritted teeth. Grinding, the sound of grinding teeth is like the one thing that I cannot stand in this entire world. I can listen to like a lot of like things and it'll be gross, but I can like handle it. The one thing that will drive me crazier than anything else is listening to people like grind their teeth. Thinking about it just makes me violent. Like, not towards other people, just it makes me just like, you know? And whenever I hear people grinding their teeth, like, I have to like put like my tongue between my teeth so that my teeth don't touch. It sounds so weird. This sounds so weird, but I just, the thought of me accidentally doing it after hearing somebody else do it, I can't handle that. Don't look. Okay. He took the needle from Sasha and began to sew the wound closed. Sasha looked away, feeling sick to his stomach. He peered up at the fire escape above them, then over to the window with the flickering neon sign, and then back to the puddles scattered on the ground around them. Suddenly, Sasha caught a glimpse of something reflected in one of the puddles. His head shot up. At the mouth of the alley stood a dark silhouette, its long shadow stretching out towards them. Sasha's heart skipped a beat, his eyes wide. Mishka? Mishka tied off the thread and looked up, turning his head in the direction his friend was staring. F-bomb. Sasha, help me up, now. Sasha stared at the figure ahead of them, who was now approaching on a slow walk. Sasha, now. As if shaken from a trance, Sasha shook his head and scrambled to help his taller friend stand up. Two more silhouettes joined the first, all three drawing closer by the second. Oh. Run, Sasha, go. No. And leave you? Stop playing around and come on, please. There was no time. Using whatever adrenaline was left in him, Mishka pushed off the pavement and started running, Sasha close at his side. Each step hurt more than the last. His body screamed at him to stop. They rounded the corner of the alley, small drops of blood splattering in Mishka's wake. The pair stopped in their tracks when they saw the large brick wall ahead of them. It was a dead end. Mighty unfortunate, fellas. No. Ooh. Ragged breaths were getting faster. Mishka's gaze darted upwards and he pointed at the fire escape above them. We can climb it. We just have to pull down the ladder. Can you reach? Mishka grimaced and grabbed at his side, hunched over. The pain was agonizing. I bet. I don't know. Sasha turned back toward the ladder and jumped for the lowest rung. He couldn't reach it. Sasha, they're coming. Sasha jumped again, every muscle in his body stressed to its limits. His arms swiped desperately for the ladder. The approaching figures brandished their knives while their footsteps grew louder. Without hesitation, Mishka gripped Sasha around the middle and lifted him as best he could. He cried out, an agonized expression twisting his face. No, you have to come with me. I'm so sorry. He clenched his jaw and continued to push Sasha up toward the ladder. He could feel the thread of his stitches beginning to rip. Sasha wobbled a little bit, but stretched out his arm and reached for the lowest rung. When his fingers wrapped around the cold metal, he gasped. I got it. Mishka backed off and gave a faint smile. Good. Now pull up. Pull up. Now pull. Pull hard. Sasha gave the ladder a sharp tug. Nothing happened. Sasha's breathing sped up, panic coursing through him when he realized the ladder was stuck. No, please. Mishka spun around, wincing in pain at the sudden movement, his eyes fixed on the three silhouettes closing in on them. They were surrounded. Climb it, Sasha. Go. No! Why does every game I play make me lose people? Why does every game kill off the interesting characters? Stop it. Stop it. It's not hard. Stop it. Get some help. Sasha shook his head, a choked sob forcing its way out.
Please.
Not without you. How can this be happening? I can't believe this is... The first assailant stepped out of the shadows and into the dim neon glow of the alley, his gold eyes gleaming. It's Ada.
Pathetic.
Oh. You're an annoying cockroach, Mishka, but I'm sure you know that. Shut up. No! Without warning, Ada leaped forward with both knives in hand. Mishka darted backwards and raised his arms to cover his chest and head. No! Ada's blades slashed with blinding speed, cutting deep into Mishka's forearms. No! Mishka! Sasha held tight onto the metal rung, unable to pull himself up any further, but unable to let himself drop either. The second attacker's fingers wrapped around Sasha's ankle and yanked him ruthlessly off the ladder. Oh. Well, then I guess we're both going down tonight, huh? This is all because you called me! Why did you involve me in this? I could have been sleeping. Well, to be fair, I didn't have to answer his phone call, so that is my fault. I could have just not answered it and he just would have turned up dead the next morning. He hit the ground hard. A sharp pain shot through his leg on impact and the air was knocked from his chest. Blah. The third figure charged toward him. Blow after blow rained down on him and thrashed his entire body. It was excruciating. I bet. The bitter metallic taste of blood filled his mouth and spilled from his lips. Something heavy hit Sasha on the back of his head so hard his vision blurred. Not even the adrenaline coursing through him could block out the intense pain. I'm gonna die.
That's enough.
That's enough. We got what we came for. Distantly, he could hear Mishka desperately screaming his name. A loud ringing echoed in his ears, and the world around him seemed to slow. This can't be happening. Sasha turned his head to the right, forcing his aching eyes open as best they could, looking for Mishka. Mishka.
Sasha! Sasha!
The sight of two men dragging a fighting Mishka toward a car at the mouth of the alley was incomprehensible to Sasha. He fought to stay conscious. Sasha's entire body refused to move. He weakly tried to turn over, attempting to crawl after his friend, but nothing happened. His body wouldn't respond. The car door slammed shut. The sound was muffled and distant. Sasha whimpered, hopelessness sinking in as the vehicle pulled away and drove off. His fingers twitched, scraping against the pavement. He still couldn't move. All he could do was lay there, helpless. I can't hold on. Sasha's vision began to narrow, darkness closing in. I bet this man is in so much pain. What if I don't wake up? Mishka, I'm where he sent the distress call, but he's not here. A deep voice filled the alley. Someone was coming. No, there's someone else here. He's beaten up pretty bad. Tell Indigo to send a medic team. I'm bringing him in. Dun dun dun. The pain became distant, and Sasha's consciousness slipped away.
Can you hear me?
Can you heal me? I just shook the whole screen. Let me stop that with this arm, clearly. It's so bright. The afternoon sun beat down on the old playground, and laughter echoed through the clearing. Is this a flashback? A group of rowdy kids elbowed each other to get to the monkey bars, sprinting past the swings where one boy sat alone. So he dyed it pink? His hair was scruffy and brown. The tips of his shoes could barely touch the ground as they scored the sand beneath him. Wow, is this a tiny Mishka? The rough crunch of dirt grew louder as another child ran up to the lone boy. You're new. The boy's low gaze fixed on a pair of tennis shoes standing in front of him. He looked up. I've never seen you before, and I'm here like every day. Out of breath from the jog over, the kid gasped the words between his panting. I just moved here. Oh, he's so shy. Oh my god, he's so cute. He looked back down. His fingers fumbled with the chains of his swing. That checks out. Why are you just sitting there? The boy shrugged and watched his foot draw circles in the sand below. Sasha, we're playing chicken. You're on my team. Sasha turned his head and yelled back. In a minute. Instead of joining the other kids, he walked over and sat on the swing next to the quiet boy, who now watched him with confusion. I think your friends want to play. So what's your name? My name's Sasha. Michael? That's Michael, right? Michael? It looks like it sounds like Michael is just spelled different. So I'm gonna call him Michael, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. His voice was a little more than a mumble. So, Mishka, right? Ha. Michael? Do you know how to swing? Why are you sitting here? Mishka only shrugged again. You don't really talk much, do you? dot dot dot. Sasha pursed his lips and began drumming his hands on his thighs, slowly looking around the playground. Wanna come play on the monkey bars? I don't know how. It's easy. Hopping off the swing, Sasha motioned for the kid to follow him. Mishka reluctantly slid off his swing before adjusting his sweater sleeves to cover his hands. He followed. It's so rusty. Don't hurt yourselves. Sasha, we can't play chicken with uneven numbers. We're not playing chicken. Mishka doesn't know how to climb monkey bars. Who's Mishka? Sasha pointed at the kid who'd already looked back down at his feet. I'm teaching him how to use the monkey bars, so move over. Not waiting for them to move, Sasha started to climb up the metal ladder on the side. The others jumped to the ground in showy fashions before dusting themselves off and leaving to find something else to leap from. Looks like, he's the boss of the playground. He's got the power. I'm really good at this, so just do exactly what I do. Come over here and try to hang on them. I really love these pants, because, they just... This is really interesting to me. This is funny. Interesting pants, right? Sasha reached up and hung from one of the bars while facing his new friend so he could watch him try. Mishka watched the other kids leave before following Sasha up the ladder and grabbing a bar himself. Good. Okay, now try to pull yourself up. Before he could finish, Mishka had already climbed to the top of the monkey bars with ease. He turned to sit with his legs dangling off the side. Oh, show off. Well, that's still beginner stuff anyway. OMG, hey. Hey girl, hey. Oh, your hair looks so cute. Yes, it does. Are you gonna sit here? They could probably see you there. Yeah, they could see you there. You sitting here? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, put that over there. Okay. Hey. Sasha hoisted himself up to join the quiet boy who was biting his lips to hold back a smile. The next level is hanging upside down. It makes you look like a bat. It's super dangerous. Sasha confidently spun around and hooked his legs over the side of the monkey bars before letting himself fall backwards. His face quickly began to flush from all the blood rushing to his head. See, if you fall, you probably break your neck. But if you do fall, you have to tuck and roll. Despite Sasha's very ominous and very accurate warning, Mishka did exactly what he saw his new friend do. Did you want one of the headphones? Sure. Okay. You charging your phone?
You need it?
No, I'm not. I was swinging that around like a crazy person, though.
Yeah,
I think if you watch back the stream, you'd see it. I really was doing it for a while. Oh. One really aggressive kid in the background. As soon as he was upside down, his shirt began to fall. He shot out a hand to pin it to his stomach. You said you didn't know how. I didn't. It's probably because I'm a good teacher then. Sasha laughed, feeling a bit lightheaded from dangling there. After a few seconds, Mishka joined in with a timid smile. Okay, well, next you have to flip off. So put your legs like this. Wah! Did he fall? He fell, that's what happened. In the middle of his demonstration, Sasha's hand slipped. Before Mishka could react, the other boy had fallen to the dirt below. That's embarrassing. Sasha! Mishka effortlessly flipped off the monkey bars and crouched next to Sasha. Luckily, the other boy's neck was not, in fact, broken. Sasha sat up with his hand covering the side of his face. His expression twisted into a frustrated pout. Is it good?
I'm just hungry.
Ow. You didn't tuck and roll. Oh, he hurt himself. Oh, is this where his scar comes from in his eyebrow? Because homeboy hurt himself that bad, falling off the freaking monkey bars? Embarrassing. I feel like all kids have like stories like this where they have like the most ridiculous scars from the most ridiculous stuff.
Me.
Wait, where is it? Which leg? I think this one.
Yeah,
Me.
that's hilarious.
I have a really long scar on my leg from when I was like 8. I don't feel like getting into the details. It's nothing bad, but it's funnier for people to not know.
And it's embarrassing.
And it's also embarrassing, so.